Langri Tangpa says this in the 8 verses of mind training. May I regard even those whom I have helped in the past and placed great hopes in, even if they act unreasonably and harm me, as my spiritual teachers, guides and mentors. There are some people in my life whom I have gone to great lengths to benefit and support. These are people in whom I have placed deep hopes, trust and expectations. For example, some of us worked hard to train a tutor or went to be kind to someone, nurtured them. This includes worldly relationships and affections. Many people place great hopes in such individuals. But sometimes this person, without any reason at all, unjustly harms me. I truly hope I can deeply regard them as a spiritual teacher instead of repaying evil with evil rather than seeking revenge. We should treat those with bad dispositions who commit grave misdeeds and are tormented by intense suffering, and those who act in completely contrary ways, as rare and precious objects of compassion, cherishing them deeply. This is extremely difficult, isn't it? Some people have particularly bad dispositions and frequently commit negative actions and are constantly tormented by intense afflictions. Not only do they never repay kindness, but they also bring you a great deal of suffering and adversity. How should we view such people? We should see them as the true objects for cultivating compassion. We should cherish them in every way, even more so. Not verbally, but truly from the depths heart. Each one of us encounter this situation. If someone treats you extremely unfairly and frames you without reason, then you should cherish them even more sincerely from your heart. In the 8 verses of mind training, it also says, when I see beings of bad character committing evil and suffering greatly, when I see some beings with bad character who both commit evil and experience suffering, I should cherish them as if I had encountered a precious treasure with a sense of rarity and value. When I see someone who is especially tormented, someone who is deeply troubled by afflictions, it's as if I've come across a wish-fulfilling jewel, and I should treasure them with a rare and precious heart. Actually, people are like this. Toward those beneficial to you, no matter from which perspective, if there is something admirable about them, people tend to like them more. But if someone lacks admirable qualities and even brings harm to your present and future lives, if they cause you a lot of harm, then as true Mahayana practitioners, because such sentient beings are pitiful, we should treat them as a wish-fulfilling jewel, with a heart that recognizes their preciousness. As Guru Rinpoche said, in our institute, 3 principal aspects of path: the 37 practices of a bodhisattva, the 8 verses of mind training. Everyone should memorize these 3 treatises. So when it comes to the 8 verses of mind training, I believe many people in the mind training class and every Dharma friend should understand them, since the words themselves are simple. But whether we can put them into practice, that's hard to say. When we encounter such people, we think, oh no, this is trouble. This is quite a very troublesome person. With a bad temperament and heavy afflictions, they are definitely harmful to me, let alone treating them like a wish-fulfilling jewel. We avoid them as if they were filth. We don't have a rare or precious attitude toward them. Instead, we are especially afraid and keep our distance out of respect. This is truly how ordinary people like us behave. But as for bodhisattvas, indeed, among us humans, including Khenpos, Khenmos and Dharma teachers, many practitioners, some have very strong minds. They can accept things that most other people find hard to accept. They are able to handle it. If it were an ordinary person, they'd think, this makes me afraid. Or, what are others saying about me? Wow, if someone is like that, it's too much. No one wants to deal with that. But there really are some people, even if it's just 2 people, one of them dares to take responsibility for pitiful sentient beings. Some people really need to be like this, but they just absolutely don't dare to do it at all. It's like a crow. When it comes to a dead snake, it's very bold. But when faced with a real living snake, it doesn't dare. It's the same principle. So why are bodhisattvas called warriors? This is why, when they see sentient beings deeply afflicted by suffering and delusions, and still wish to help them, that is a true bodhisattva. Chakawa Geshe also said this. Benefiting others but being harmed in return, yet still practicing great compassion. I benefit them, but in return they harm me. So how should I repay them instead? By cultivating great compassion. The noble ones of Jambudvapa repay harm with kindness. No matter which sentient being from our southern continent of Jambudvapa, I respond with a kind heart and virtuous actions. Even if they cause me profound suffering, even if they bring me all kinds of intense pain, I always repay harm with kindness. It is also said, practice alone for those who constantly harm you. What does this mean? We take these people who repay kindness with enmity, as well as enemies, obstacles, opponents, and so on, and separate them out from other groups, then treat them as particularly challenging objects for mind training, and focus on training our minds with them. For example, when we practice in our daily lives, if there is someone who especially makes things difficult for you, then, among all the various objects of practice, you can very easily single them out and distinguish them clearly from all the other rest. Then visualize, today I dedicate all my merits to this person. Similarly, we are often troubled by illness or demons. For example, if I were to have a malevolent spirit or an ethereal entity actively possessing me, then you should seriously consider and deeply contemplate, I dedicate all my practice to them and let all my practice benefit them. Or if there is someone who constantly obstructs or sabotages your practice and your worldly life, then you should single them out as well. This is also what we do when practicing the preliminaries. We visualize our enemies in front of us. We single them out from all sentient beings and all people in the world, and frequently dedicate merit specifically to them. But for most of us, this is very difficult. For example, when I recite the aspiration of Samantabhadra, I dedicate the merits to my parents, to my main benefactors who make offerings, to my best teachers and spiritual friends, wishing them long life, and to those with whom I have good relationships, hoping that they won't get sick. Of course, I myself am the most important one. There's nothing unusual about that. I'm the main focus. But in reality, if we truly... Today, I want everyone to think about this. In your life and practice, do you have people or non-human beings you dislike the most? Is there an illness demon that seems to be entangling you, or any person or non-human being, if there is such a thing? Today, dedicating the merits from the aspiration of Samantabhadra, let's reflect together. Today I dedicate all my merits to them, wishing that they may be free from suffering as soon as possible and attain perfect happiness. This is how we should dedicate our merits. This is the conduct of a bodhisattva. We must focus on cultivating compassion. Furthermore, Rinpoche unattached himself also said this. If upon seeing, hearing or recalling someone who has harmed me or my side, for example, if I personally see or clearly hear about it or truly remember that in the past, present or even the future, or might harm me in the future, or harm my close friends and relatives, or harm my beloved family and cherished loved ones, or even cause harm to Buddhism itself. When ordinary Buddhists unfortunately harm Buddhism, we tend to really dislike it very much indeed. In the past, if a certain religion destroyed our Buddhism, or if a certain powerful leader had destroyed our sacred monastery, many people would often start reciting fervent curses, saying things like, even though I personally can't do anything to this person right now, I will remember this injustice. But if I hear that there's a hailstorm or something bad happens to them, I feel so happy about it. If he gets into a car accident on the road, how great would that be? Many people, for those who often make things difficult, whether people or not, are especially so. But Togme Sangpo was not like this. Whenever he saw, heard or encountered someone who harmed him or his side, or those evil followers who harmed Buddhism, he regarded them with even greater compassion. He knew to treat them as the ones most deserving of his compassion. Even if beneficial, respectful and loving words cannot truly help them, one should still dedicate all of one's own virtues and profound happiness to them with intense and heartfelt compassion. Even though I use all kinds of cherishing, benefit and respect, if these cannot benefit them, I use strong compassion for them. Our ordinary compassion is not enough. But this is not ordinary compassion. When you have bodhicitta, when you encounter such situations, the more they harm you, the more you dedicate your own roots of virtue to them. In this way, even if this person is, for the time being, a harsh and harmful adversary, or if he harms monastics or harms Buddhism, or harms any sentient being for any reason, he will definitely experience terrible suffering. However, due to the dedication of noble beings, or those with bodhicitta, he will eventually experience happiness. So here, one should dedicate all one's own roots of virtue and happiness to him, actually. A guide to the words of my perfect teacher states that dedication means dedicating a specific virtue. Aspirations, however, do not designate a specific virtue, what one will do in the future, this difference between the two. At the end, The distinction between dedication and aspiration is explained. If today I recite the King of Aspiration prayers, then I dedicate the merit from reciting it to everyone here today. I don't know if you can remember to do this every day, but today, please think, if you take those who cause you the greatest harm, whether human or non-human, as the recipients of your dedication, today, the recipients of my listening to the Dharma, the recipients of my dedication today, sutra recitation today, all good deeds I have done today, and many people who complete over approximately 10,000 Vajrasattva mantras every single day. Right now we are really busy here. Many people truly are actually busy all day and night, barely able to keep up. And even the immense merit from eating delicious hot pot, the significant merit from eating freshly steamed buns in the morning, and the great merit from drinking nourishing porridge. All of it should be dedicated to them, all right? Especially the merit from reciting the King of Aspiration prayers. This means if someone you place hope in ends deceiving you, repaying kindness with enmity, and you yourself do not give rise to genuine compassion or the sincere wish to truly benefit them at all, then it proves that your mind training has not yet matured. When others harm you, you also deeply resent them. That clearly shows your current practice is still somewhat lacking in its overall effectiveness. Therefore, you need to practice even more, and the previous part was the teaching of the Venerable One. Togme Sangpo himself also took this as his main practice. This is also a primary practice. When we look at Togme Sangpo, we truly rejoice in him. For every one of these teachings, the 37 practices of a Bodhisattva is his heart. If we recite it often, then indeed the compassion and bodhicitta in our own mind will gradually be cultivated over time. We are the same, even though I can't do it right now. In the past, when the two of us young kids fought, at that time I was a bit taller, so I would hit him. When I hit him, he said, "I'm shorter now, so I can't do anything about it. But when I grow up, I will definitely take revenge on you." So we are just like that too. Now we cannot be like Togme Sangpo. But when we grow up, we must strive to be like Togme Sangpo. Transform humiliation into a tool, turn adverse conditions into opportunities for practice. Transform suffering into a tool for the path as well. If we can do this, our spiritual practice will definitely be excellent. So let's see how it goes. This is the main practice of the Venerable One. Every day, this is his most important practice. He puts it into practice personally. We don't know how many people actually put it into practice themselves. All right, we'll stop here for today.
Om Bandhara Bandha Sodargye